We're going to get started. If you're doing competition class, you're over here. If you're doing all levels, you're on the other side of the mat over there with Hayden and Trev. Just bring it right in if you're doing competition class.
Coming through.
Yeah, exactly.
You wanted me to carry him.
Yeah. Is anyone here competing? Today we're going to go through what's it called, Queenstown? Yeah? You are? You are? From what it looks like, there's a lot of people versing access. I think. Have you had a look at your bracket yet?
It's like 11 people.
You're in as well?
Yeah.
You boys are competing this weekend, eh?
For 5 minutes or so.
Nice. Alright, so today, team, we're going to be doing quite a bit of positional sparring. We're going to be working on a bit of open guard passing. The way we're going to start off is we're going to do 10 minutes of self-directed drilling, followed by some conceptual stuff, looking at what we're trying to achieve when we're passing and what things we're looking for as responses. Once we've worked on that, we're going to do some king of the mat style stuff that Ez is going to teach, with some interim positions, not things that are like a leg drag that's fully locked up, but like an in-between where it's sort of good for you and good for them at the same time, and then we're going to fight out of those positions, followed by our
Feel the tempo and just got 2 matches, right? So the aim is just to score.
So first things first,
Cool.
just find a nice piece of real estate,
5 minutes.
practice whatever you want to do for 10 minutes. If you've got any questions, we're going to be walking around helping you. 3, 2, 1. In some way and try and lock you down. Yeah, they did the bases. This is bad. So you're looking for here and trying to come same side.
Still no resistance. Probably about at this point here. Alright. Trev is going to be he's going to be looking to get on top because this is going to be the natural reaction to this. He's going to lay it in. He's going to be looking to drive up that mountain. Right. So from this position here, we're just going to kind of go light fire. So he's going to start to make motions to get up. Right. And I just got protection. You can do that again.
All right. What have you noticed? It's pretty tiring. Yeah, it's pretty tiring. It's a very dominant position for the person playing guard. It gets very dangerous as soon as we get those grips on us, and then we're dealing with that posture breaking force of what our guard players are doing. So we want to break those grips, get away from all his connection points or hers, and then we just want to reevaluate, look at maybe cutting angles with chinks in their armor, essentially. But the thing is, there is a benefit. Has anyone ever done stuff to someone that they felt severely unmatched against? Yeah. Yeah. So you know that sinking feeling when you feel like something really bad is going to happen? You can do that to the person on the ground by just standing back. they have to sit in this position with no connection point and have to deal with the fact that something's going to happen at some point. So you can almost like make them stew in it, so to speak. So if they get those connection points, you can break them and then just look at reevaluating. And maybe if they sit up, we want to get them back on their back. Because if they get up on their butt like this, they can technically stand up, and then it changes into more of a neutral position. So what I want to do is keep them on their back at all times. And generally that means just lifting the heels above the hip line. We talk about this all the time. The thing is, each of these different passes that we were working on, whether it be, I mean, I saw quite a few Torianders, I saw a couple of leg drags, I saw people stepping into half guard. There's only really 3 different ways to deal with a pass. Any pass. There's only 3 different ways. So as long as you know the counters of the pass, you can deal with those counters. Jiu Jitsu generally works in, like, you know, a turn-based system where I attack, you defend, I attack, you defend, unless you break the tempo and then you attack and then I defend. Does that sort of make sense? So the way it works is if I come in for a pass, Ezra's got a couple of ways to deal with it. One way is if I come around, he can frame, and I can deal with this frame that's coming in. Another way is I can push the legs, and Ezra can pummel. He can essentially like pancaking legs back on top, or hands. He's essentially just pummeling. So from here, the leg comes over, and then he retains guard. The framing one, if I pass the legs, he frames, and then he brings his hips back in play, and then we're dealing with the guard again. So that's 2 ways.
Yeah, so if we're crossing the legs, then what we're doing,
the other way,
rotating
the Ez can deal with this, is if I pass him his hips and his knees to one side, Ezra can redirect and turn away and bring his guard back in play.
Yes,
all right? So generally, with a pass, doing redirect. So as I pass in, he's framing right now, and then maybe he turns away because of the pressure I put in. He's turning away, so he's exposing his back. He's either redirect, pummeling, or a frame. So as long as you know how to deal with those, there's no reason why you can't pass any guard. So we're going to cover a couple of those, and then we're going to go back into some live fire positional sparring, and you're going to utilize the ways of dealing with each. All right? So the first one being, if we're dealing with a frame, and that generally comes from me pinning the hips, Ezra's going to probably pin the shoulders, right? There's no real need for him to pin the hips, because if he just pushes on my hips, I just fold it forward and I get the pass anyway. So Ezra's probably going to pin the hip, the shoulders here. All I need to do to deal with that is just change the angle of what he's framing against. So if he's framing against me when I'm lying flat in front of him, he can stop me. But as soon as I turn, his frame is no longer facing me, my shoulders, it's now passing past me, and I can just melt through the guard. If you've rolled with Hayden before, you'll know he does this all the time. So it goes the same way with if I'm pushing in like this, Ezra's framing on me, I can just redirect and melt straight through the guard. Similar way would be if maybe I Toriander pass, and then the leg comes over the top, I can either melt through this by just pressuring on top. This is with a pummel, or
bring it in.
as the pummel comes over, I can just redirect and move around.
Okay, so
that's another way of dealing with
the really important thing here is
the other way is, let's just say I come through, I pass, and then Ezra turns away. As he turns away and redirects, I need to stop him. I need to get connection of him, whether it be a leg drag or just holding the position to stop the turn. 'Cause all he's doing is creating space so that he can get his legs back in play. However, if he turns away, if I have connection, he can't create that space. And I can just slowly progress through positional dominance. It doesn't really matter what I'm doing, whether I take the back or pass the guard and just go side control. That's irrelevant. We're just looking at dealing with different ways that our opponent is going to be stopped.
Through this escape,
At sort of a high level, are you trying to
Get to here and they lock their legs. Okay. Pretty common. In this situation, you should still try and frame and see.
The thing is with Jiu Jitsu is like, it just
not
works,
like
and
so what we're going to do is
positional
I
dominance
can't
is
move
just so
away.
strong. So
I'm just going to rotate back inside the guard. So first I'm
right
gonna
here,
walk my feet back
Ezra's in a
towards
pretty
the
good
step.
spot, but as I get past the toe line, the knee line, the hip line, it gets more and more dire, and it gets much harder for Ezra to escape these positions until we get into positions like the back, where it's even harder to get out. That's why, like we say, like when it rains, it pours in Jiu Jitsu. It just gets worse and worse until you just can't get out. And that's generally why something from like a stand-up position goes down to like a takedown, turns into a guard pass really fast, and then that guard pass turns into either side control or the back, and all of a sudden the match is over. So you really want to keep those frames up. You really want to keep pummeling. But as the passer, we know that those are what our opponent's doing, so we can get
Release the
around it.
collar. Okay, if we don't release, we're going to get trapped under our.
What Chris was saying is you can initiate a response by cutting an angle. So if I step out to a 45,
We're back into the close guard.
it's like the chances of Ezra doing a frame from here is pretty low. But I know that he's probably going to pummel, so I can redirect. And then he's going to deal with the frame, so I can melt around the frame and then close that space. And maybe he turns straight after that, and I can close that space. Does that sort of make sense? So you want to look at not only just trying to get past this, what are they actually doing? And there's only 3 different things they can do: pummel, frame, and turn away. So look for those, all right? We're going to give you guys some time just to do some positional sparring, and you're going to deal with those different outcomes. Just look for them. If your opponent's moving too fast, tell them to slow down. Because we're just practicing here. We're not trying to be drill champs. We're just trying to... We're just trying to gauge an idea of how our movement is responding. Sound good? Sweet, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. New partners.
I'm quite nervous. Anyone I
Actually, free hard from the frame, kind of hanging back here. I'm forcing on the frame of the feet. What's your way? So you're going to be a bit like
Yeah, all the way, no, chest close, chest, and then you see it, and you can, yeah, then back the other way, back the way you can, yeah.
squeezing your way on the angle.
Yeah, exactly, see, like you go 1, 2,
Plus you're making them work super hard.
It does.
Yeah, redirect, go around. Just melt. It works the exact same way when you're dealing with this. This really is all you got to do is redirect. Nice work. That's looking really good. I saw a lot of people just exploring different passing. I saw a lot of people framing, a lot of people turning away, given the correct responses. Because you'll find this. You'll find that when you're rolling, doing your open mat, doing your matches after the class, you'll find that if you just pay more attention to the way that they're defending an attack or the pass, there's only going to be 3 options of what they're going to do. So you just got to work through, almost like paper, scissors, rock. Like, what are they doing now? Oh, they're framing? Sweet, I'll just redirect. You know, maybe he's going to try and turn away, but he can't turn away if I collapse the arm, because before, if I didn't do this, he could roll right out. So I'm just stopping him from being able to do the next step by countering his counter, or preemptively countering his counter. Does that sort of make sense? Sweet. Just an example of this, you can use this as a warm-up as well. So what I like to do for this this sort of drill is I'm just going to practice my chain passing. And then Ezra's going to be practicing different ways of defending. So I'll just initiate. He's going to be dealing with different ways of passing. You see what I mean? Like, there's only a couple of different things he can do. He can pummel, he can frame, or he can turn away. So I'm just waiting for those. I'm not necessarily trying to close the space and actually get the pass, but I'm practicing my chain passing by doing this. It's just a little concept I want you guys to and girls to think about, because I can teach you just a half guard pass. I can teach you an under over pass. I can teach you a cartwheel pass. But it's just, it's easier. Some of you really cartwheel pass. After class. So, you've got to pay extra for that. So basically, what I'm trying to do is give you guys the ability to pass a guard with just concepts, as opposed to learning individual, super hyper-specific techniques. I think this way you get along more bang for buck, and it makes it easier for you as well, because Jiu-Jitsu has so many different moves, so you can put it all together and be like, okay, these are just, you know, these are redirections. All these moves of leg drags, throw bys, and Torianders, they're all the same. They're all the same. They're just redirecting and bringing our opponent's legs across the center line. They're all the same. It works the same way with maybe if you're passing with a double under, you stack them and then you redirect to bring the leg across. It's the same thing. You're just utilizing maybe a little bit more pressure than speed. It's the same move. So just try and think about Jiu-Jitsu like that, group things together. But what we're going to do now is we're going to get into some think of the mat style.
Alright, good. Yeah, mouth guard, strict bottle, have a drink if you need one, and then we'll just line up all the way down the end.
That makes sense,
Yeah, that means you're going to be starting on top. Yeah, starting on top this side. Right, and the first position we're going to start from, right, is going to be in this kind of a head-quarters position like we talked about last week. Okay, so remember, my aim is always to get his knees and his feet, all right, pointing away from us. So I'm going to start with my hand posted down to the ground. My aim of getting his knee down here. All right, and this is the first position we're going to start from. All right, a win for me. I've got to manage to pass. Okay. 4 to 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. All right, win. That's what I actually want to work. I managed to submit. Alright, win for me also. Okay, but if Ben sweeps me, and he gets on top 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3. Alright, that's a win for him. Okay? So our aim here is just to try, as Ben was talking about, putting those concepts into action in a bit of a live scenario. So we're going to about 80%. Alright, 75, 80%. So we want to get some authentic reactions this time. Alright, but you can never go wrong here. Getting his knees, pointing away. All right, push down, knee behind. Okay, let's bring it in. Can't go wrong. All right, so if you on the larger scale, you want to more of a challenge, come down here. If you're a bit lighter, I want you to go down there and Ben will take you. Okay? All right, there we go. Identify as a...
Generally works at under 80.
Under 80, over 80.
But I'll separate you as well. I'll bring you over there.
Alright, can we have 5?
First act.
There you go.
Feet walk in, shoulders move away, taking that up with it.
We need tribal drum music. Excellent. Alrighty. Do you want some? Ready. Talk to Shane if you want to make any bets.
Bring the notebook next week, bring $2 coins. Feel free to do some gambling.
Excellent. Alright, great class everyone. I see a lot of people working out different ways of passing guard and dealing with those counters. So we're going to get into some matches. Oh yeah.
Oh, just want to make you guys aware. We are at Rolleston, Access BJJ in Rolleston. They're running like a camp, which is going to happen on the 10th, 11th, 12th of December. All right, so this is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right. So there's going to be like a seminar that's going to be happening every night on those nights, as well as drilling classes on midday, 12 o'clock, and there's going to be morning classes as well. With the idea being that you can also sleep there. Any of you heard of Daisy Fresh? Like you can sleep on the mats, get the full Jiu Jitsu Daisy Fresh experience. And yeah, it's just a bit of an experience really. And we're going to have the UFC on, and the Worlds are on, the IBJJF Worlds are on that Saturday as well. So we'll have that running on the screen, and a barbecue and stuff. So it's going to be, it's going to be pretty good. Oh yeah. So just for a day pass, I think it's $50. Okay. If you want to do 3 days, it's $100. All right. But that's for all of those seminars. We've got Ben teaching here. We've got myself. We've got Cam. We've got Luna. We've got Dan. We've got another black belt from Brazil. His name's Felipe. Oh, it's Felipe. Felipe's doing it, bro. Yeah, Felipe's going to be there. And there's a few more other people as well. So it's really good bang for your buck. And if you want to stay there, you can. You just have to let Dan know. All right, Dan Sainsbury. If you're interested, just let me know after class, and I'm sure we can arrange something.
Sweet. All right. So the first match.
Oh yeah. All right. So first match is going to be Patrick versus Ralph. All right. Make sure we're counting points, please.
All right. Yeah. Remember to count points.
Oh, and sorry, there's a comp on the Sunday as well. $5 buy-in, and if you win, you take the pot. So wipe up, move up, round and back up.
Excellent.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Iron Bills. Thumbs up. Let's go. A bit of coaching.
Go boys. Let's go Patrick. Deep breath.
Let's go, Ralph. Fucking get the rope.
Bring those grips back, Jay.
Just keep fighting inside control.
Patrick, lay down, keep distance, get your grip back down. And run it. That's it.
Elevation change.
Need collar grip, Patrick. There you go. Take some stuff.
Do something with your grips.
How many points for a takedown, team?
2.
Come on.
Respect points for a blast double though.
Nice. Yeah, good. Just roll back.
Right on, bro.
Back down.
Just engage, bro. Just stand up.
Yeah.
Good, bro. Nice.
Hooks in.
Keep going, bro. On the hands, bro. On the hands. Other wrist. Other wrist.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep, pull it down. Good, boy.
Well done.
Nice. Turn that leg.
2, 3.
Yeah, keep going.
You want to run it down? We have one.
Right over, bro.
Yes,
Nice.
Now we have a guard if he passes.
Posture up. Up.
Square up to him.
$50.
Turn and face it.
Nice.
Fumble the leg. Hey, now, bro. Posture up, bro.
Don't get Kamara, bro.
Get the legs free. Posture up.
Beautiful. Come on. The next match is going to be Christmas Day.
Oh, let's go.
All right.
So have we got Sidman?
So yeah, I think we should definitely go sit. Come on, Gab. Gab carrying on all this. He's ready. What kind of ice cream? Alright, you ready? Time's on.
Get him, McGavin. That's your buddy, McGavin. Another 50 a minute here to go right.
Come there.
Imagine there's a crumb.
McGavin, good, McGavin. Break that posture. Look out.
No points.
Nice work, man. Watch that chin strap.
Yep, that's it. He's on that side.
Nice shoulders.
No points. No points in turn. Yeah.
Right, wrist right.
The back take. Hips.
Come on, man. Come on. Good, Chris.
Still gotta go.
Mess him up. Mess him up, Matt. He deserves it.
Come back. Let's go. What? Give me weight over his hip.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Come and grab that wrist.
Nice.
2 points.
Get angry, Matt. Get angry.
Butterfly gun.
Matt, you should see how many drugs he's got on it.
Dunker.
Let's come, Gav.
5 minutes to go.
That's again. Yeah.
Good, Chris. Good, Chris.
He's got a stand-up game now. Nice, boys.
This is the flying outback, guys.
So what is the score so far?
2-0.
2-0 Matt. Nice work.
Okay, Chrissy.
Keep breathing, Chris.
What a rascal.
Fresh shot.
Good, Chris.
Hold it. 2.
Yes, Chris.
3.
Yes.
Keep on.
5-2.
5-2.
Good, Chrissy.
Take your time, Mac. Take the cross face. Keep it up.
If Matt was to sweep here, will there be any points?
Reversal.
No, it's a reversal. So there's no points from side control. So he has to have a guard first. Sorry.
Right about that.
4 minutes.
You go, Matt. Any time. Lovely too. Lovely too. Stay heavy on the
4 minutes to go.
Stay heavy on the heavy on this.
If you reverse the dominant position,
Yep. On the hips. On the hips. On the hips.
Oh, then it goes to side control. I don't know if the side control reverses the side control.
On the hips. On the hips.
That's one. Push the back take. Is that always in by hook too?
Yeah, so I'm going to feel like you're slipping out, then you're something else.
You can go back and forth, back to mount and just keep firing points away. But you can't go back. But so you can lead a reverse as back better than mount. Okay.
Go, Matt.
Okay.
yeah, you can't go back.
You can't go mount to something. That's another one. I did that like 4 times.
That's points.
got
3
Matt.
minutes to go.
Let him get the good grip.
Ready?
Not over yet, Matt.
Get that hand, Matt. Get that hand.
He hasn't even ripped, bro.
Oh, it take off.
yeah,
I had that going. I had that.
Yeah. I'll call you a liar.
Yeah, nice good defense. Let him get it.
Turning, Matt. Keep turning.
Take your time. Take your time.
2 minutes 30 to go. Heaps of time, man.
Take your time.
Reversal or sweep? Reversal, no points.
Have any time. Guys, get it back at the back. Wrestle up.
Wrestle up.
There you go.
Here we go, guard.
So that was in his nose.
Now we have a guard to actually
Be smart, be smart.
Fine, no rush.
Hold. Don't do underhooks again. No underhooks.
Get on the hook.
Yes, nice.
Nice, Gavin.
Yeah, run up. Yeah, there you go.
Underhooks.
There you go. Take your time.
Yeah, that's it. Sit back, sit top.
Clear that collar. Clear that collar.
1 minute 30 to go.
You're upset him, bro.
Yes.
You're upset.
There you go, man. There you go.
Hey!
Alright, take your time. Don't let him put the leg on the floor. Don't let him put the floor on the floor.
Nice, see, that's it. Backwards.
Try his leg. Don't even disrespect him.
What's the time, Ben?
Clear that hand. Don't let him hold your wrist. Don't let him hold your wrist.
Guard. Yeah, those feet in front. Square up, driving through. 1 minute to go.
Nice.
Clear that cross
Keep
face.
control, cross, keep control. Strong,
Clear
keep
that
control.
cross face.
Yes.
There you go. Get that hand back. We need it. Clear that cross face.
Yeah. Walk that hand.
40 seconds. What's the score, team? 9-2. Alright, it's 9-2. We had a sweep, a pass, and a back take.
Takedown?
No second up you.
Remember the hip throw?
Yeah, you got to
Oh, yeah, there was a takedown. There wasn't a sweep.
You got Matt.
15 seconds, let's go!
Yeah, start shooting some wild shit down there.
10,
Basically,
9,
whatever you got.
8,
Whatever you can find.
7,
Buggy coat.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What was the score, team? 9-2. Nice work, Chris. All right, team, let's get into some rolling.